Day 963 of the Ukrainian War Map, also known as the Russo-Ukrainian War. Juzzie here, and today is another update as I take a simplified and down-to-earth approach to some of the most important happenings on the ground in Ukraine. So starting off, we'll take a look at those Russian losses, as currently Russia sits on more than 668,000 military personnel losses, representing an additional 1,300 in the past day. Then as for hardware losses, 9 tanks, 49 APVs, 29 artillery, 2 air defense systems, and 71 soft targets. Including, would you believe it, more civilian vehicles operated by Russian soldiers, like this white sedan that wrongly chose to cross a literal minefield, where it was moments later just gone, reduced to atoms. What is Russia doing? Then across to the map and headed into Russian-occupied Luhansk, as over the weekend, Ukrainian forces launched an overnight strike targeting Russian logistics, particularly focused on an oil facility located in Rovenki. This strategic move was confirmed by Ukraine's general staff, who reported the strike on Saturday. The aftermath was dramatic, with the oil depot ablaze, where locals captured the striking scene, posting videos of the large fire caused by the strike, which was reported to be as a result of the Ukrainian drones, and certainly an attack not without evidence, as some debris of the Ukrainian drones used for the operation were discovered near the vicinity. Among the wreckage, a jet drone of unknown make was found. So Ukraine clearly continues to upgrade and perform serialized production on their technologically enhanced attack UAVs. The target, a fuel storage facility, was known to store a number of petroleum and oil products, which are essential supplies for the Russian army. Then over the weekend in the Donetsk region, reports emerged from Russia on the downing of one of their Sukhoi Su-34 jets, some 50 kilometers from the front lines. Although as current, not a great deal of additional information has been revealed, though Russian aviation adjacent channel fighter bomber confirmed the loss of the $50 million Russian twin-engine all-weather strike fighter. And so given the proximity of the downed plane, which various Russian sources suggested it was shot down in fact, this has in turn led to speculation on the incident, with suggestions that the loss was attributed to an air-to-air targeting by an F-16 fighter jet. Notably, this incident coincides with the unveiling of the first official images of the AIM-9X Block 2, now in service with the Ukrainian armed forces. However, the range of the Block 2 air-to-air missiles don't reach these kinds of distances, meaning that, were it to be from an F-16 fighter jet, for instance, it would likely have been from an AIM-120 air-to-air missile, with all blocks A through D of those missiles are certainly all very capable of working inside a 50-kilometer range, with some reaching even up to 160 kilometers, possibly 170. But also, we must genuinely accept the possibility of a friendly fire incident from the Russian air defenses as well, as it is unfortunately all too common for the armed forces of Russia. Now, as for the Russian jet, these jets are known for launching their UMPK Fab glide munitions from frontline positions, with a particular focus on striking around Pokrovsk or the Kharkiv directions. And so as a result of this loss, it then has the impact of certainly being a very notable loss in Russia's aerial warfare arsenal, given its role in frontline air support sorties. Then, speaking of Pokrovsk, or the direction of, Ukrainian defense forces regained positions near Novorodrivka, which Russian forces had just taken a day earlier. In heading to the date map, we can see the difference when we push back and forward there. So clearly both sides are quite cognizant of the need to either defend or invade this section of the front line, where it happens to be Russia's best direct line of sight opportunity to head towards Pokrovsk, although not without cost. Then specifically, just near to that location, we saw the AFU lighting up positions of Russian forces near to Seladova, as the Karadag FPV unit continued their work against the invading forces. Now, this region has also started raining for the week, which may ironically cause us to initially see a drastic offensive effort on the Russian part as a sort of a fear of loss campaign. as reality could be setting in right now about the impending, rather wet conditions ahead for them. Then we'll head all the way up to Kursk on the map, where the lines have remained steady through the weekend, with President Zelensky in his nightly address stating that there were attempts to push back Ukrainian armed forces from their positions in the region, but that they managed to hold their lines. Also, further Russian armored columns were spotted today near to Zeleny Shelak, where they either look to clear or hold at this location, with Russian sources reporting that they were clearing the area. Though, of course, it would be a location they would look to launch further assaults from, where they bring in the necessary hardware to do so. Artillery, armored vehicles, and the feeding through of Russian soldiers. Then also for the region, in precision strike fashion, we saw a successful Ukrainian strike on a Russian tank hiding in a tree line, or attempting to at least. And worthy of note here was that in this instance, the action was as a result of a fixed-wing drone used as a one-way UAV attack from the AFU, which is different from the more typical quadcopter designs used. As a result, this usage could be tied to the specific operational advantages that fixed-wing designs offer in certain environments, such as, generally speaking, longer range and higher speed than quadcopters, making it ideal for targeting more distant or heavily defended positions. And a specific drone type that was called in, no less, as per the vantage point we see here from a recon drone that first discovered the Russian tank. So it will be interesting if we continue to see the use of the fixed-wing UAVs in operation by the AFU, because if we find that to be the case, it's likely an indication of the AFU ramping up their production and usage of what really amounts to expanded frontline drone range, as these fixed-wing designs would include a range increase to the tune of 2 to 3 times that of a standard 5 to 20 kilometer ranged quadcopter variant, leading to more attacks on the rear. Then headed across to Crimea, where after 7 days, Feodosia's devastating fire was finally extinguished, with the event since revealing extensive damage to a significant portion of the oil facility. Satellite images depict about a third of the complex bearing the brunt of the destruction, with the remainder of the site, that is to say 100% of the site really, expected to be no longer relied upon, because reportedly pro-Ukrainian Atesh partisans in the region have provided some intel on the disrupted regular operations, with occupying forces now scrambling to set up mobile fuel points, relocating them every 10 to 12 hours to avoid further strikes, highlighting the far-reaching consequences of this catastrophe. Then we'll take a brief look at Russia on the map, with Russian media claiming that there are rumors of Ukrainian units attempting to cross the border in Belgorod. Now, as a result of the former Kursk incursion, the Belgorod region authorities have become increasingly paranoid about a Kursk 2.0, if you will. In fact, it's been no different to Russia's Bryansk region, where the local authorities have already made several unsubstantiated claims of Ukrainian military operations into their territory as well. So it appears these border regions are vying for further support from the Kremlin, as they by no means play down any concerns on their own border regions. Then far away on the map and to Chechnya, to a location named Grozny, in Kadyrov's Chechnya, I should say, as massive fires have consumed a gas station in the region, but not expected to be related to Ukrainian actions. And being that there is a quote-unquote blood feud going on between Kadyrov and the oligarchs of neighboring Dagestan, an event like this is certainly likely to put Kadyrov on edge, if not further edge. I mean, look at this face during a televised event from Friday on the issue, as two competing oligarch factions fight over the ownership and profits over certain Russian companies, making for the face of one Kadyrov seemingly show the exhaustion of constant paranoia, as he claims that those in Dagestan are out to assassinate him. Then headed across to some news for today, so we'll take a look at some Ukrainian hardware news updates, as a unique and new kamikaze drone has been developed. This one's called the Stick M12. No surprises with the stick name there, which is possibly the fixed-wing drone we saw just earlier. Now, impressively, this one boasts a range of 70 kilometers or about 45 miles, which is one of the many latest designs filling the gap of what could be referred to as, in this context, Ukraine's traditional mid-range limitation in kamikaze drone platforms. Then to finish off the video with a couple of brief segments due to an acute concern I have regarding my video editing software today, which fingers crossed works and allows me to even upload this. So here we go, a quick Russian military mobilization blunder segment about Levko Marina, the wife of a missing Russian serviceman who offered a 3 million ruble reward for finding him alive. The serviceman from Russia's 21st Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade went missing in January of 2024 in the Avdiivka direction. That is not an ideal direction for the concern. Now, after a repeated lack of response from the Russian MOD on the matter, the case remains unresolved. In fact, there are entire Russian Telegram communities related to this type of event where, in a 2-day period from a couple of weeks ago, I saw nearly 900 requests, new requests, specifically, from families looking for information on missing Russian soldiers in the SMO. Once again, the Russian MOD remains abhorrently disconnected from the consequences of this war, and further to that, are largely silent on these types of matters, as they don't want to officialize in their own records the massive losses their army has sustained. In fact, countless reports have since shown that the Russian MOD takes it one step further than that, shamelessly listing many as not casualties of war, but deserters. It's a pretty outrageous state of play. Then we'll head across to a bit of a lighter segment where I think you can trust me to move on to after an update of that caliber. As for this latest example, a family of marbled polecats were spotted in Ukraine. These adorable little critters are native to Eastern Europe and weigh no more than about 2 or 3 pounds and are known for their playful nature and bold behavior, often found darting through grasslands and being an all-round, vibrant, albeit mischievous, little unit of mammals. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks again for watching. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks again for the support. I hope I can actually even upload this video. Fingers crossed. It's a real 50-50 today, but we'll see how we go. So yeah, thanks again if you do hear this, and I do hope to see all of you guys there in the next one. Cheers.